Hello students, myself Dr. Muhammad Ahmed. I welcome you all to the 10th lecture of Mathematics 2. Students, in the previous lecture, we have discussed what is the meaning of quadratic form and how to identify the nature of quadratic form, right? So in last class we have seen that this quadratic form is given by x transpose ax, right? X transpose ax is called as quadratic form, which is given by if where x is this x1 or xyz, and matrix A is given by a b c h g f h g f. If this is the matrix, then the quadratic form is given by ax1 square plus bx2 square plus cx3 square plus 2h x1 x2 plus 2f x2 x3 plus 2g x3 x1, right? This form is called as a quadratic form in three variables: x1 x2 x3. Ax1 square plus bx2 square plus cx3 square plus 2h x1 x2 plus 2f x2 x3 plus 2g x3 x1, right? So this matrix A is called as symmetric matrix for the quadratic form x transpose ax. This is called as symmetric matrix for the quadratic form x transpose ax. Now this quadratic form is said to be positive definite if this matrix A is having all the positive eigenvalues. If all the eigenvalues of A are positive, then this quadratic form is called as positive definite. If all the eigenvalues of A are negative, then this quadratic form is called as negative definite. If all the eigenvalues of A are greater than or equal to 0 and at least 1 is 0, then semi-positive definite. If all the eigenvalues of A are less than or equal to 0 and one eigenvalue is 0, then this quadratic form is said to be semi-negative definite. If few eigenvalues of A are positive and few eigenvalues of A are negative, right? Few eigenvalues of A are positive and few eigenvalues of A are negative, then this quadratic form is said to be indefinite. So these were the things that we have discussed in last class. Now in today's class we are going to see an important topic called reduction of quadratic form to canonical form, right? Reduction of quadratic form to canonical form. So for reducing any given quadratic form to canonical form, first we have to understand what is the meaning of canonical form. So now we are going to define the canonical form, right? We'll define canonical form. Or this is also called as normal form of a quadratic form. So this is our today's topic. We are going to define first what is the meaning of canonical form, then we will reduce the quadratic form to canonical form. Suppose I am having a quadratic form x transpose ax. Let x transpose ax be the quadratic form. Right? Then there exists an orthogonal transformation. There exists an orthogonal transformation which is given by x equals to by, where x equals to by, right? There exists an orthogonal transformation x equals to by where y equals to this matrix y1, y2 and y3. right? So what is happening for any given quadratic form X transpose AX, we can find one orthogonal transformation X equals to BY, where this Y equals to Y1, Y2, Y3 and B is the orthogonal matrix, right? B is orthogonal matrix. That is why this transformation is called as orthogonal transformation, X equals to BY, right? When we take this orthogonal transformation here, then what will happen? Now X transpose AX is equal to, see what will happen here, what is X transpose? X is BY according to the orthogonal transformation, X is BY, so BY whole transpose into A into BY, right? Then what will happen? AB whole transpose is nothing but B transpose A transpose, that we have studied in intermediate. So BY whole transpose is nothing but Y transpose B transpose, then A, then B, then Y. So you collect this B transpose AB in a bracket, right? Then what will happen? This here we'll see in problems, B transpose AB, when we compute, we are going to get a matrix called D, which will be having lambda 1 0 0 0, lambda 2 0, where 0 0 and lambda 3, right? So this will be reduced to Y transpose. What is Y transpose here? What is Y transpose? Y transpose is nothing but Y1, Y2, Y3. What is B transpose AB? That is D only, which is lambda 1 0 0 0, lambda 2 0 0 0 and lambda 3, and Y is Y1, Y2, Y3. When we multiply these three, what we will get? So multiply these three, Y1, Y2, Y3, first I am keeping as it is. Now you multiply this, what will happen? First row, first column. So lambda 1, Y1, then second row, second column, lambda 2, Y2, sorry, second row, first column, third row, first column, we will get lambda 3, Y3. Now you multiply these two matrices, what we will get? Lambda 1, Y1 square plus lambda 2, Y2 square plus lambda 3, Y3 square, which is called as canonical form of given quadratic form X transpose AX, right? This form is called as canonical form, right? Here what are these lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3? Lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 are eigenvalues of A, matrix A, right? This is the canonical form. Now how to reduce this given quadratic form to canonical form, that we will discuss in next topic. See, canonical form, how canonical form is defined, right? Suppose I am having a quadratic form X transpose AX, right? X transpose AX, then there exists a transformation called orthogonal transformation, which is given by X equals to BY, where Y is given by Y1, Y2, Y3 and B is the orthogonal matrix. What is the orthogonal matrix? How to find this? We'll discuss later. Now you just remember that there exists a orthogonal transformation X equals to BY. When we use this orthogonal transformation in the quadratic form, that is X transpose AX, so in place of X we have to substitute BY whole transpose A as it is, then X again will be replaced with BY. Then what will happen here? Y transpose B transpose, we will get A as it is, then BY we will get. So collect B transpose AB in one term, remaining Y transpose Y as it is. So B transpose AB, when we compute, here we will get B transpose AB as a diagonal matrix. DA means diagonal matrix, in which the diagonal entries will be lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, where this lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 are actually the eigenvalues of A, right? Now when you write this Y transpose from this matrix, we will get Y1, Y2, Y3, B transpose AB. Just now we told that we discussed that it is a diagonal matrix in which entries will be lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3. Y, capital Y is given by y1, y2, y3. Now you multiply these three matrices. When we multiply these two matrices, we will get lambda 1, y1, lambda 2, y2, lambda 3, y3. When we multiply these two matrices, we are getting lambda 1, y1 square plus lambda 2, y2 square plus lambda 3, y3 square, where this lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 are eigenvalues of matrix A, this matrix A. Now this representation is called as canonical form for the given quadratic form. Right, this representation is called as canonical form for the given quadratic form. Right, now we will define what is the meaning of rank of a quadratic form, index of a quadratic form, and signature of a quadratic form. So these all definitions depends on canonical form. Actually we are defining rank for quadratic form, rank of quadratic form. So after reducing the quadratic form to canonical form, if in the canonical form rank is defined to be, in the canonical form, number of non-zero terms in canonical form. How many non-zero terms are there in the canonical form? That will be the rank of quadratic form. It is defined to be rank of X transpose AX equal to number of non-zero terms in canonical form. So where we have to look for number of non-zero terms, we have to look in canonical form. After reducing the given quadratic form X transpose AX to this canonical form, we have to look for number of non-zero terms, right? Number of non-zero terms in canonical form is defined to be rank of the quadratic form. Next definition is index of a quadratic form. Index of a quadratic form. It is defined to be, so index of X transpose AX is equal to number of positive terms, in canonical form. Right, this is defined to be number of positive terms in canonical form is defined to be index of quadratic form. Rank is number of non-zero terms, index is number of positive terms. Now next definition is signature of quadratic form. Right, it is defined to be, so signature of the quadratic form X transpose AX equal to number of positive terms in canonical form minus number of negative terms in canonical form, So this is how rank, index and signatures are defined. You see signature once again, signature of quadratic form X transpose AX is nothing but number of positive terms in canonical form minus number of negative terms in canonical form, right? Okay, now we will see reduction of quadratic form to canonical form. How a quadratic form can be reduced to canonical form, that we are going to discuss now, right? Reduction of, which is very, very important. One LAQ question will be asked from this, 100% one LAQ question will be asked from this. And if we complete this topic, then unit will be completed. Unit 1 will be completed. So what is the topic? Reduction of quadratic form to canonical form. Reduction of quadratic form to canonical form by orthogonal transformation. Remember, this topic is very important, how to reduce the given quadratic form to canonical form. One question, one LAQ question, sometimes 10 marks question will be asked from this. Procedure will be lengthy, solutions will be lengthy, so sometimes 10 marks questions will be asked from this. It is very important, right? So let us discuss how a quadratic form can be reduced to canonical form by using orthogonal transformation. Suppose I am given a quadratic form x transpose ax. Let x transpose ax is the given quadratic form, which is of this form ax1 square. I am considering in 3 variables only, because in examination also 3 variables quadratic forms will be given. You will be asked to reduce this that to canonical form. Ax1 square plus bx2 square plus cx3 square plus 2h x1 x2 plus 2f x2 x3 plus 2g x3 x1. Suppose this is the given quadratic form, right? This is the given quadratic form, where what is x? X is given by x1 x2 x3, and what is A? Symmetric matrix. A is given by, so A, B, C, H, G, F, H, G, F, right? This is the symmetric matrix for the given quadratic form. Now let us see step by step procedure. So in step 1, what we have to do? To reduce the quadratic form to canonical form, what we have to do? First we have to find the eigenvalues. Find eigenvalues lambda 1, lambda 2 and lambda 3 of the matrix A, right? Also find corresponding eigenvectors. Corresponding eigenvectors x1, x2, x3, right? So what we have to do first, for the we know how to find the eigenvalues and eigenvectors. What we have to do first, we have to find the characteristic equation for the matrix A. First we have to find the characteristic equation. So before that, from the given quadratic form, one quadratic form will be given in the question. We have to compare that quadratic form to this general form, right? We have to compare the quadratic form with this general form. Then find the values of A, B, C, H, F, G, as we have done in the previous class. Then write the matrix A, symmetric matrix A. Then for the symmetric matrix A, write the characteristic equation lambda cube minus trace of A into lambda square. By using that formula, find the characteristic equation. Solve that characteristic equation to get the eigenvalues lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, right? Once we get the eigenvalues, find the eigenvectors, corresponding eigenvectors. For corresponding lambda 1, you find one eigenvector x1, corresponding to lambda 2, x2, corresponding to lambda 3, x3. 3 eigenvectors we have to find. Then in the next step, we have to find normalized eigenvectors. Find normalized vectors. What is the meaning of normalized vectors? So each vector should be made to unit vectors, right? x1 by norm x1. We have to divide each vector with its norm, x2 by norm x2. Now what is this norm? We will see x3 by norm x3, right? With norm is nothing but the magnitude, where if suppose x1 is given like this, x1, x2, x3. If x1 is given x1, x2, x3, then norm x1 is given by square root of x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square. This is norm x1. Same way norm x2, same way norm x3, right? What we have to do? We have to divide each vector x1, x2, x3 with their norms, x1 by norm x1, x2 by norm x2, x3 by norm x3, means we are normalizing the vectors. This process is called as normalizing. Dividing each vector with its norm is called as normalizing the vectors, right? After getting these normalized vectors x1 by norm x1, x2 by norm x2, x3 by norm x3, we have to form the matrix called our model matrix. So then form model matrix whose columns will be this matrix B is given by, whose columns will be this x1 by norm x1. Sorry, this should be capital. x1 by norm x1. Now x2 by, second column will be x2 by norm x2, and third column will be x3 by norm x3. You have to remember this procedure, because in each and every problem related to this reduction of quadratic form to canonical form, we have to use this procedure, right? After getting this matrix, which is a model, which is an orthogonal matrix, right? This is the matrix B, which is orthogonal matrix. Orthogonal matrix means if you find B into B transpose, you will get identity matrix, means the B inverse is B transpose itself. Transpose of a matrix is the inverse of given matrix. Such matrix is called as orthogonal matrix. Right? Now we have to consider the orthogonal transformation. Now orthogonal transformation is x equals to by, where this y equals to y1, y2, y3. Right? What will happen if we take this now? If we take this orthogonal transformation, what will happen? X transpose Ax, just now we have discussed this, x transpose Ax equals to by whole transpose into A into by. Then what will happen here? Y transpose B transpose AB into Y, right? You collect this in a separate form. So when we compute B transpose AB, we will see in problems, when we compute B transpose AB, we will get the diagonal matrix D, which will be having lambda 1 0 0 0 lambda 2 0 0 0 lambda 3, where this lambda 1 lambda 2 lambda 3 are eigenvalues. Lambda 1 lambda 2 lambda 3, lambda 1 lambda 2 lambda 3, lambda 1 lambda 2 lambda 3 are eigenvalues of A, right? Then what will happen? Y transpose is nothing but y1, y2, y3. Every time we don't need to write this in problems, directly we'll write actually. Here lambda 1 0 0 0 lambda 2 0 0 0 lambda 3, and then y is given by y1, y2, y3. When you multiply all these three matrices, what will happen? Lambda 1 y1 square plus lambda 2 y2 square plus lambda 3 y3 square, which is called as the required orthogonal transformation. This is the required canonical form. This is the required canonical form. How we have obtained this? By using this orthogonal transformation x equals to by, right? Where B is given by this matrix, B is given by this model matrix. These columns are x1 by norm x1, x2 by norm x2, x3 by norm x3. Right? This is the procedure for reducing any given quadratic form to canonical form. Let us discuss the procedure once again. How we are reducing the quadratic form to canonical form by using orthogonal transformation, right? Which is very, very important. Suppose I am given a quadratic form in the question: a x1 square plus b x2 square plus c x3 square plus 2h x1 x2 plus 2f x2 x3 plus 2g x3 x1. Then it may be given in xyz also, doesn't matter. It may be given in xyz also. It may be given in x1 x2 x3, right? Then what we have to do, our intention is to find the matrix A, symmetric matrix A. Compare this with the general form, find A, B, C, H, G, F. Then you can write this symmetric matrix. After writing the symmetric matrix, find the characteristic equation for this, find the eigenvalues lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, then find the corresponding eigenvectors x1, x2, x3. Then normalize these eigenvectors x1 by norm x1, x2 by norm x2, x3 by norm x3, where this norm is defined to be, if the vector is x1, x2, x3, then norm will be given by square root of x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square, which is nothing but the magnitude. After getting these normalized vectors, form the matrix called model matrix. B is given by x1 by norm x1, x2 by norm x2, x3 by norm x3, which is an orthogonal matrix. B transpose B or B transpose, when we find, we'll get identity matrix, which is nothing but transpose of the matrix is inverse itself, right? From this orthogonal matrix, we are going to define a new transformation called orthogonal transformation by using this matrix x equals to by, where this B is this matrix and y is given by y1, y2, y3, right? And after finding this B, if we evaluate B transpose AB, A is the symmetric matrix. If we evaluate this B transpose AB, we will get this diagonal matrix, in which diagonal entries will be the eigenvalues of matrix, right? Eigenvalues of the symmetric matrix. When we use this orthogonal transformation here, we are getting the form called canonical form, right? This is the procedure to reduce the given quadratic form to canonical form. Now we will see one problem related to this. Okay, the question is, reduce, one quadratic form is given here. One quadratic form is given 8x1 square plus 7x2 square plus 3x3 square minus 12x1 x2 plus 4x1 x3 minus 8x2 x3. One quadratic form is given. We are asked to reduce this to canonical form by using orthogonal transformation, right? By orthogonal transformation, we have to reduce this to canonical form. So also we have to find rank, index and signature, right? This is the question. So how to solve this? So this is the given quadratic form. X transpose AX is given by 8x1 square plus 7x2 square plus 3x3 square minus 12x1 x2 minus 8x2 x3. I am writing the given quadratic form in the proper order, plus 4x1 x3. Now what we have to do, we have to compare this. Now we have to compare with, first step is we have to compare this with the general quadratic form, that is ax1 square plus bx2 square plus cx3 square plus 2h x1 x2 plus 2f x2 x3 plus 2g x1 x3. Then what will happen, what we will get here, a equals to 8 and b equals to 7 and c equals to 3 and 2h equals to minus 12 and 2f equals to minus 8 and 2g equals to 4. So here h equals to minus 6, f equals to minus 4 and g equals to 2, right? Therefore what will be the symmetric matrix? Therefore A equals to, A is given by, the matrix A is given by, let us write the matrix A, B, C. Here H, G, F. Here also H, G, F. Then what will happen? Matrix will be A, B, C. 8, 7, 3, H, G, F. Minus 6, 2, minus 4. Here also minus 6, 2, minus 4. Right, this is the matrix A. 8 minus 6 2 minus 6 7 minus 4 2 minus 3 minus 4 3. This is the symmetric matrix related to this quadratic form. Now what we have to do, we have to find the characteristic equation for this symmetric matrix. So characteristic equation is what is the formula for finding characteristic equation? Lambda cube minus trace of A into lambda square plus A11 plus A22 plus A33 into lambda minus determinant of A equals to 0. Now what is trace of A here for the given matrix A? Trace of A is 8, plus 7 plus 3, which is 18, right? Then what is A11 plus A22 plus A33? What is A11? A11 is the minor of this element. Remove this row and this column. What will remain? 7 3 is a 21 minus 4 into minus 4 is plus 16. So 21 minus 16. The same way A22 is the minor of this. Remove this row and this column. 8 3 is a 24 minus 2 2 is a 4. 24 minus 4. So it is 24 minus 4. The same way last entry A33 will be the minor of 3, right? 8 7s are 56 minus 36. So simplify this, we will get 5 plus 20 plus 20, which is 45. So we got A11 plus A22 plus A33 as 45. Now we have to find the determinant, right? You can verify. If we find the determinant, we will get it to be 0. You can verify this, right? How to find the determinant, you know already. Find the determinant of this matrix, you will get it to be 0. Therefore characteristic equation will be lambda cube minus trace of A is 18 lambda square plus A11 plus A22 plus A33 is 45 into lambda. Determinant is 0. So this is equal to 0. Now we got the characteristic equation. So step by step procedure is, first from the given quadratic form we have to write the symmetric matrix, then find characteristic equation. After getting the characteristic equation, find the eigenvalues and corresponding eigenvectors. So let us find the eigenvalues. For finding the eigenvalues we have to solve this, right? You take lambda common here. What will remain? Lambda square minus 18 lambda plus 45 equal to 0. Then lambda into, we have to solve this, right? We have to solve this. We have to factorize this. Lambda square minus 15 lambda minus 3 lambda plus 45 equal to 0. Now further simplify this. Lambda into, what we'll get here? Lambda can be taken out. So lambda minus 15 will remain here, and minus 3 can be taken out. Then lambda minus 15 will remain, which is equal to 0. Further, so lambda into, what we'll get here? Lambda minus 15 into lambda minus 3 equal to 0. Therefore, what will be the eigenvalues? Lambda equals to 0, 3 and 15. So these are the eigenvalues we got for the symmetric matrix A. Now corresponding to 0 we have to find the eigenvector, corresponding to 3 we have to find the eigenvector, corresponding to 15 also we have to find the eigenvectors x1, x2, capital X1, capital X2, capital X3. So let us start with first eigenvector. To find x1 corresponding to lambda equal to 0. So remember the procedure. What we have to do to find x1, we have to take ax1 equals to lambda x1, which is 0 x1. So this implies, what is ax1 equals to 0, right? Ax1 will be 0. Now what is A? The matrix A is given by, already matrix A is there, no? 8 minus 6 2. That matrix we have to write 8 minus 6 2. The second row is minus 6 7 minus 4, and third row is 2 minus 4 3, right? X1 x2, capital X1 is x1 x2 x3. This is equal to 0 0 0, right? Now I am going to form the equations. What we'll get? 8x1 minus 6x2 plus 2x3 equal to 0. Second equation is minus 6x1 minus plus 7x2 minus 4x3 equal to 0. Last equation will be 2x1 minus 4x2 plus 3x3 equal to 0. So we got these three equations. Now I'll apply the Cramer's rule to solve these three equations to get the values of x1, x2, x3. The same rule can be applied while finding the eigenvalues and eigenvectors problems also. But see, corresponding to each eigenvalue, we are supposed to get more number of eigenvectors. But here, if we apply the Cramer's rule, we will get only one eigenvector, because here we need only one eigenvector. So that is why I am applying Cramer's rule here. Even you can apply the same procedure in while solving eigenvectors also. While finding eigenvectors also you can apply the same procedure, but I recommend you to apply that procedure only what we have discussed in eigenvectors, right? Here I am going to apply Cramer's rule. So Cramer's rule, according to Cramer's rule, how to solve these equations? It is, see, x1 by, then minus x2 by, then x3 by. What is there in the denominator? X1, here what should be there? Minus x2, here what should be there? X3, here what should be there? That we are going to discuss now. See, x1, while finding x1, we have to remove this column and this row, right? This row and this column should be removed. Then what will remain? 7 into 3 is 21. 7 into 3 is 21. 21 minus 4 into minus 4. You see here, minus 4 into minus 4. Minus 4 into minus 4 is plus 16. So 21 minus 16. Then minus x2 will be as it is. See, I am writing this minus not because here minus is there. It is the procedure of Cramer's rule that here we have to take plus, here we have to take minus, again here we have to take plus. I am not writing this minus because here minus is there. Remember this. Even if it is plus, we have to write here minus, right? Minus x2 by. Now, while finding x2, you have to remove this row, this column and this row, right? This column and this row. What will remain here? Minus 6 into 3 is minus 18. Minus 18. Then 2 into minus 4. Minus 2 into minus 4 is minus 8. So, this minus and this minus will become plus 8, right? Then x3 by. For finding x3, you have to remove this column and this row and this column you have to remove. Then what will remain? Minus 6 into minus 4 is plus 24. Then minus 7 to 14, right? You just solve this. Now solve this. What we will get here? X1 by 21 minus 16 is 5, minus x2 by minus 18 minus 8 is minus 10. So this minus and minus will become plus. Then x3 equals to 24 minus 10 is 24 minus 14 is 10, right? Now you divide with 5. What will happen? X1 by 1, x2 by 2, x3 by 2. Therefore what is capital X1? Capital X1 is given by x1, x2, x3. x1, x2, x3, which is 1, 2, 2. See, after getting capital X1, what we have to do? We have to find capital X1 by norm X1. Capital X1 by norm X1 we have to find. Where, what is norm X1? Where this norm X1 is given by, see, according to the definition, square root of x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square, which is 1 square plus 2 square plus 2 square, which is nothing but 1 plus 4 plus 4. So, which is square root of 9, which is 3. Square root of 9 is 3. So, what we got? X1 by norm X1 is nothing but, see, each entry in X1 should be divided with 3. So, what we will get here? 1 by 3, 2 by 3 and 2 by 3. So, this is how we have to find X1 by norm X1. The same way, the same procedure, or whatever the procedure I have applied, that procedure should be applied for finding X2 and finding X3. X2 will be corresponding to lambda equals to 3 and X3 will be corresponding to lambda equals to 15. Let us find one more eigenvector, that is X2, right? To find X2, corresponding to lambda equals to 3. So let us see what we are going to do. We have to take a x2 equals to lambda x2, which is 3x2. So this implies what we will get here? A x2 minus 3x2 equal to 0, which is nothing but a minus 3i into x2 equal to 0. So I will write A here. What is the matrix A? I will write here. A is given by 8 minus 6 2, the symmetric matrix that we have computed, minus 6 7 minus 4 and 2 minus 4 3. This is the matrix A. Now we need A minus 3i. So what is A minus 3i? A minus 3i will be, see, 3i is nothing but 3 0 0 0 3 0 0 0 3. So from the diagonals we have to subtract 3. Then what we will get here? 8 minus 3 is 5, then minus 6, 2, minus 6, 7 minus 3 is 4, minus 4, 2 minus 4, then 3 minus 3 is 0. Then x2 is again also x1, x2, x3. This is equal to 0, 0, 0. Now let us form the equations from this. So what we'll get, 5x1 minus 6x2 plus 2x3 equal to 0, minus 6x1 plus 4x2 minus 4x3 equals to 0. Then third equation is 2x1 minus 4x2 plus 0 x3 equal to 0. Now from these equations we have to apply Cramer's rule. So x1 by minus x2 by x3 by. Now what is x1 by? For finding x1 you remove this column and this row. What will remain? 4 into 0 is 0, then minus 4 into minus 4 is minus 16. So minus 16, minus 4 will become plus, but 0 minus 16 will be there. Minus x2 by, you remove this column and this row. What will remain? Minus 6 into 0 is 0, then minus of 2 into minus 4, minus 8. Minus of minus 8 is plus 8. Then x3 by, so for finding x3 you remove this column and this row. Then what will remain? Minus 6 into minus 4 is 24, then minus 4 to the 8. So just simplify this. What we'll get here? x1 by minus 16 and minus x2 by 8, or you can put even this minus in the denominator, minus 8. Then x3 by 24 minus 8 is nothing but 16 again. Now you divide this with minus 8. So what will happen if we divide this with minus 8? We will get 8 2 here, and x2 by minus 8 we are dividing, no, so 1 here. Then x3 by minus 8 we are dividing, so 16 by minus 8 is nothing but minus 2. So we got, therefore what is x2? x2 is given by 2 1 minus 2, right? Now what is norm x2? Norm x2 is again the same thing, 4 plus 1 plus 4, which is square root of 9, which is 3. Therefore x2 by norm x2. Therefore x2 by norm x2. What we'll get here? x2 by norm x2, we'll get it to be 2 by 3, 1 by 3 and minus 2 by 3, right? So this is how we got x2 by norm x2. The same way we can find x3 by norm x3. Directly I am writing that, I am not finding that here. If you want you can find it. See, for we have to write the same thing. To find x3 corresponding to lambda equals to 15, start with the procedure. Then I am writing, so we get similarly what is x3 by norm x3? I am not computing here, I am directly writing, but in exam you have to compute. x3 by norm x3 is given by 2 by 3 minus 2 by 3 and 1 by 3. Now what we have to do after getting x1 by norm x1, x2 by norm x2, x3 by norm x3, we have to form the model matrix. So model matrix is, what we have to do? We have to write all these as columns of matrix. Model matrix B is given by, so what we will get? x1 by norm x1 is given by 1 by 3, 2 by 3, 2 by 3. This one, 1 by 3, 2 by 3, 2 by 3. So 1 by 3, 2 by 3 and 2 by 3, right? The same way x2 by norm x2, which is 2 by 3, 1 by 3 minus 2 by 3. Then last x3 by norm x3, which is 2 by 3 minus 2 by 3, 1 by 3. Now after this we have to compute B transpose AB. What is B transpose AB? Right? B is here. You can write B transpose also. Transpose this matrix, you will get B transpose, which is same as this one only. Again, A is the given symmetric matrix, B is the matrix itself. When you multiply all these three matrices, you have to write all the three matrices and multiply. Then what we will get directly, we can write this. We will get a matrix in which the diagonal entries will be the eigenvalues. 0, 3, 15 are our eigenvalues. So directly we can write this. You don't need to compute every time, right? We don't need to write B transpose, what is B transpose, what is A, what is B. We don't need to multiply all these three matrices. Directly we can get this. Directly you can write in the examination, right? 0, 3, 15 should be the eigenvalues which are there, should be in the diagonal, then remaining entry should be 0. Now what is the orthogonal transformation? Now use orthogonal transformation. Now use orthogonal transformation. X equals to by, where y equals to y1, y2, y3. Then what will happen? This x transpose ax will be replaced with y transpose b transpose ab into y. Then what is y transpose? Y transpose is y1, y2, y3. What is b transpose ab? Which is 0, 0, 0, 0, 3, 0, 0, 0, 15 into capital Y. Capital Y is y1, y2, y3. Now you multiply all these three, then you will get 0 into y1 square plus 0, second eigenvalue is 3 into y2 square plus 15 into y3 square. So this is the procedure for reducing any given quadratic form to canonical form. We got the canonical form now. So we have to write here which is required canonical form. The procedure is very simple but lengthy, right? Then after getting canonical form, what is the question? We have to find rank, index and signature. What is the rank? Actually rank is defined to be the number of non-zero terms in the canonical form. How many number of non-zero terms are there in the canonical form? This is the canonical form. See, this is the zero term. So this is non-zero term, this is non-zero term. So rank will be 2 non-zero terms. Now index is positive terms, number of positive terms in the canonical form. This is a zero term. So first positive term, second positive term. So 2 positive terms are there. So index will be 2. Then signature is defined to be number of positive terms. How many positive terms are there? 2 minus number of negative terms. How many negative terms are there? 0. So signature will be 2. So this is how we have to find rank, index and signature of the quadratic form. We have to look for number of number of non-zero terms, that will give us the rank. Rank is number of non-zero terms. Then index is number of positive terms. How many positive terms are there? 2, right? Then signature is positive terms minus negative terms. Negative terms are not there, so 2 minus 0 is 2. Signature is 2, right? So this is the lengthy procedure, but one question will be asked in the examination. One quadratic form will be given, reduce that to canonical form by using orthogonal transformation. So let us discuss the procedure once again. Step by step I'll explain. So first step, what we have to do, we have to compare the given quadratic form with the general form, get the values of A, B, C, H, G, F. Then you can write the symmetric matrix, right? Symmetric matrix will be A, B, C, H, G, F, H, G, F. After getting the symmetric matrix, we have to find the characteristic equation. For finding the characteristic equation, formula is there. Use this formula, lambda cube minus trace of a lambda square plus a11 plus a22 plus a33 into lambda minus determinant of a equals to 0. Find all these, trace of a, this one and determinant. Substitute, you will get characteristic equation. Solve the characteristic equation, you will get eigenvalues. Now after getting the eigenvalues, corresponding to each eigenvalue, we have to find one eigenvector corresponding to 0, x1, corresponding to 3, x2, corresponding to 15, x3. Like that, for finding x1, we have to take ax1 equals to 0, x1, which is ax1 equals to 0 into right hand side. Then write the matrix A, form the equations. Then apply Cramer's rule, right? By applying Cramer's rule, we will get x1, x2, x3, which will give you the capital X1 vector, right? 1, 2, 2. Right? After that, you have to find x1 by norm x1, where norm x1 is given by square root of 1 square plus 2 square plus 2 square, right? Same way, we have to find x2 by norm x2, x3 by norm x3. Then after getting all these three, we have to find the model matrix B, which is given by first row will be x1 by norm x1, first column will be x1 by norm x1, second column will be x2 by norm x2, third column will be x3 by norm x3. After getting the matrix B, we have to find B transpose AB, which will give you directly, we can write in the examination also. Here we have to write the eigenvalues in the diagonal, then remaining will be zeros, right? Now we have to use this orthogonal transformation, x equals to by, where B is given by this matrix and y is given by y1, y2, y3, right? When we use here, in place of x, when we substitute by, we will get like this, right? Where y is given by this, B transpose AB is given by this diagonal matrix, y is given by this. When we multiply these three matrices, we will get this canonical form. 0 into y1 square, 0, 3, 15 are the eigenvalues. In every problem we will get the same thing, right? Same thing means here eigenvalues will be there. Suppose 1, 2, 3 are the eigenvalues, then here 1, here 2, here 3 we will get. Order may be changed, no matter, doesn't matter. Order should be in the increasing or decreasing, whatever the eigenvalues are there, that should be there. Then rank will be number of non-zero terms in the canonical form. Index will be number of positive terms in the canonical form. Signature will be positive terms minus negative terms, right? So this is how we have to solve problems related to reduction of quadratic form to canonical form. So with this we have completed unit 1. So all the topics that we have discussed in unit 1 are in your syllabus. I hope no topic is missed in the syllabus. If you want, you can check the syllabus copy also. No topic is missed from unit 1. In with this lecture, that is the 10th lecture, in these 10 lectures we have completed unit 1. All the topics we have covered, right? So in next class we are going to start unit 2, right? I am going to end today's session here. See you in the next class. Thank you.